Look, like the things that you've heard already, and we'll hear from Scott again, there's probably a lot of themes that will be pretty similar no matter what facet of the game, you know, whether you're a batsman, a bowler, or a wicketkeeper, or with your fielding. There's a lot of things that are very they're the same no matter what activity you're doing. So specifically with regards to wicketkeeping, I'll run through you know, my ideas on some of these things. In terms of, say, a pre-season and looking at even your weekly training loads through the season, I don't see a big difference from a wicket-keeping point of view between off-season and training. Wicket-keeping as a skill is it's all about preparation. So the way I view it is that on the weekend, as a wicket-keeper, or in the game when I play, I might be wicket-keeping to my fast bowlers. Now they might be bowling out swing, they might bowl in swing, they might bowl off cutters, leg cutters, slower balls, bouncers, yorkers. They might bowl them down leg side, they might bowl them outside off stump. There's so many different things a bowler might do. Then I've got my spinners. They're going to be bowling leggies and offies and wrongans and zooters and flippers and all sorts of different things. So the important thing for me is, if with my training, and whether that's in the off season or during the week, if I've prepared myself with my training to be able to react to any one of those things that might happen on the weekend, then I can go out in the game feeling confident and knowing that whatever happens, I'm ready for. You know, if I've practiced taking, you know, a fast bowler bowling out swing and moving my feet and taking the ball, if I've practiced that hundreds and hundreds of times, then when it happens on the weekend, you know, all I have to worry about is going out there and catching the ball and having fun. Because once we're out in the middle on the weekend, it's very difficult. If you think about, say, playing a shot as a batsman, you know, you've got your stance, so you've got to worry about where your feet are, your hands are, your head. Okay, what's the bowler going to do? I've got to move my feet, I've got to swing my bat. There's a lot of different movements that your body's got to do, and a lot of different mechanical things that need to happen, all in about 0.5 of a second. Now, we just don't have the time to be able to go through a process and actually do it. So it's all about our training, and if we get it right when we train, then we can just go out and rely on our instincts when we play. So my off-season and my weekly training, it's all the same thing. It's about preparing for the weekend. So I'll basically, it's all about catching as a keeper. So any drill that I can be doing where I'm catching, working on my glove work, so you know, your length of catch, your soft hands, which are the two important things, watching the ball into your hands, because we obviously can't catch it if we're not watching it, and then footwork. So those are the three things: your footwork, your glove work, and watching the ball. Very simple. And I'll do any drill that I can, basically, to train those different parts of the game so that I can do it on the weekend. The way I try and do that is I sort of talk about the 80-20 rule. So there's lots and lots of different drills we can do, but I like to do 80% of my training is working on the basics. Okay, so as I said, with catching, that could be as simple as, you know, watching the ball all the way into my hands. It's a very simple thing, but I want to be so good at it that when it happens on the weekend, I don't even think about it. So 80% of my time will be on basics, like watching it in, you know, moving my feet sideways, a length of catch, those basic things. And then the other 20% of the time is where I'll start to try and challenge myself. So it might be doing some diving, or it might be doing some reflexes, might be doing high balls or nicks. So particularly at your age, you know, looking back when I was your age, that's what I did a lot of. And funnily enough, I still do a lot of that now. So not a lot has changed between when I was a lot of you guys your age to what I'm doing now playing for Queensland. Is when I go to training, I'm always working on the basics, as I said, so that when I go in the middle on the weekend, I can just go and have fun and relax and just play. In terms of fitness or strength and conditioning, you know, you have to be pretty fit to be a wicketkeeper. I hope all of you here play lots of different sports, not just cricket, because I think that was something that really helped me as a little kid. Certainly now, doing it as a profession, and you need to have a high level of fitness. And what helped me was when I was your age, I was running around kicking footballs or playing tennis and playing cricket. Obviously, as a wicketkeeper, the important thing is leg strength. So, being able to do lots of squats, the agility, so being able to, move sideways very fast and with some explosive power, being able to jump up and down. But also, if we play a 50 over game, that's 300 times where I might have to catch the ball. So I need to have pretty good leg strength and leg conditioning. So you're on your feet all the time, you've got to be able to run around. So when I was your age, I just played lots of sports. A lot of running, and any chance I did get to do any specific fitness, it was lots of cardio. So I used to like going for runs or going on a bike ride, because that was really good for building up your endurance. But then in my training, what I did to get good with the squatting was I just did lots of wicket keeping, because by doing that in training, it made it easier on the weekends. So that obviously changes a little bit once you start going up the levels. You start doing gym programs and more specialised fitness programs. But certainly at your level, as you progress, the more sports you can play, and the better your general fitness is, the better that'll serve you for wicket keeping or being in the field. My match day preparation, it's actually pretty simple, and it sort of stems from what I was saying before. If I've prepared myself during the week with training, then I don't need to worry too much about what goes on the weekend. Basically, I just make sure I'm very organised with my gear, and then actually when we get to the ground, it's just have a good warm-up, so you're nice and muscles are nice and warmed up, and your flexibility's going, you have a stretch. And then just a couple of drills to be working on, watching the ball into my hands and get my footwork going. So it's pretty simple, just a couple of drills where someone might be hitting a ball straight to me or throwing a ball, and I can just start moving my feet, watching the ball into my gloves. And I don't try and fix any parts of my game or my technique or try and do anything different on the weekend, because I would have liked to have done that during the week when I was training. So that, as I said, get there on the weekend, have fun with your mates. In terms of, I will touch on the fielding and how it benefits our discipline. As a wicket keeper, we're basically the captain of the fielding side. So it's a pretty important role as the wicket keeper. You set the standard for the other 10 players out on the field, and it's your responsibility to set that standard. From behind the stumps, you've got a great position to see where the captain has put his field. You've got a great view to see what your bowlers are doing, so whether they're getting some swing, whether they're getting some spin, whatever it might be. And you're in a great position to have a look at the batsman and see his technique and see what he's doing. So you'll be able to have a lot of information that you can help your team out with. So it's really important that as the wicket keeper, you notice those sorts of things and you tell your captain and your teammates about it. And it's important that with your actual standards, so making sure that when the throws come in, you're making nice clean takes, not fumbling the ball, all those sorts of things. You set the standard for your other 10 fielders. So it's a very important role, to help get 11 guys moving in the one direction. Goal setting, from a wicket-keeping point of view, it's pretty simple as well. Basically, you catch everything. We've all got different techniques as wicket keepers. The basics will always be the same, as I said before, watching it into my hands, giving with the ball, moving my feet to get in a good position to catch it. But when it all comes down to it, if I catch everything that comes at me, then I'll say that's a good day. So minimising the mistakes you make. So my goal setting, from your age all the way through to now is basically catch everything. So whether the batsman gets a nick on it or not, I just want to catch the ball. I just want the ball coming to me all the time and to catch it. And if you can get through 300 or 600, in 100 overs in a day, whatever it might be, and you haven't dropped the ball, well, that's a pretty big tick. And you're always trying to do that. I guess as wicketkeepers, sometimes we're a little bit considered perfectionists. We try and strive for that. Some days it's hard, you might fumble one or two, so you just keep trying to improve on that. Pretty easy for your goal setting, I think, just try and catch everything. Then just in our mental approach to training and match day, and again I've touched on that with my mental approach to training, it's all about preparing me for the weekend, and Craig mentioned that before. If I've practiced all the different things that might happen on a weekend at training, then on the weekend I turn up to the game, I'm relaxed, I'm confident, and basically I just can go there and have fun with my teammates. I'm not sitting there behind the stumps thinking, where are my feet going, what's my hands doing, am I watching it here, all these sorts of things. You know, I can rely on the fact that I've caught hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of balls during the week, and that my body will do the right thing in the game.